Hello everyone, my name is Ryan and welcome back to the random opening series. In the last episode we were on 6 God and I made 2 relatively big mistakes. My opponent caught them and they were able to take the win. So now let's take a roll at the next opening. And we have 2. Now that will give us the Kobayashi Opening again. Wow, I think I've had a lot of games on here, but no complaining because I relatively like the Kobayashi Opening. So I'm gonna go on this account and let's find our first opponent. So here we go. Successfully drew black, so it should have a smooth time playing the Kobayashi Opening. And great start point. Oh no, well even though he kicked, I can also just play here and we pretty much have the shape for the Kobayashi anyway. My opponent is also playing super fast again. I have 11 wins on this account, which means I only need 7 more until we have our first 5-gen account. That is, if we keep rolling this one. So, large knight enclosure. I feel like invading right here, but actually white has the ladder going this way, which means if I invade, white attaches. If I wedge, white can Atari below and then capture my stone on the 3rd line. So yeah, typically you need both wedging moves. Sorry, the wedge, which has ladders going to both sides, in order to play that. I'm kind of tempted to just extend one more, or do like this one and then extend one more to just expand myself. Because white exchanged the kick, I have the stone standing up, so it's actually relatively good for the Moyo over here. And when you have the 2-space defense for the 3-4, it's a very big move to play another extension, because when white pincers, it's actually a huge move to get into the corner, so that kind of defends that. Okay, so I guess we're playing a Moyle style in this game, which I didn't really expect. I think the knight's move is relatively early, since I'm clearly developing a Moyo, but my opponent seems to be completely ignoring that. He does it again. So I guess I'll just jump. I mean, like it feels a little, you know, too casual. I mean, this used to be called the casual games. He's just casually defending the territory here with me. So, I mean, I would be happy if everything is mine. So, in terms of the direction I'm going for, it's good. Right? I have a very big Moyo, so I don't have to think too much about this type of move. Because I'm giving him a smaller side and I'm taking the bigger side. Not to mention that the upper left is not totally white's territory. I can always invade the 3-3. And it will be very hard for white to capture it fully. So now let's see what he will do. So it's actually a good time to think a lot right now for him. So it's a good use of time, since this is a key decision here, whether white wants to cut me and fight, or he goes back. Now, I think it's better to actually get out and fight compared to going back. Well, actually just mainly because this side is getting really, really big. He also ignored my knight's move here, so I can actually do a 3-3 invasion anytime, or even attach outside to follow up. It's taking quite a while. I'm not sure what he's thinking about now. Ooh, interesting move. So he played a shoulder hit. I don't quite understand the purpose of this move, though. It seems to be just playing next to my stones again. And this turn is probably a mistake. I mean, he obviously thought for a while for the shoulder hit, which seems to be a reasonable move, but this turn is not very good, because after this group gets enclosed, black still has a huge side. So, yeah, this move is too local. So of course now white needs to find some way to make his group alive. Of course now I need to protect my cut. I can't leave my group. So my stones are getting a little bit weaker, so I need to make sure they're strong because they're cutting white off. So I need to keep myself in the attack. It's still unclear what he's doing with this group now. Now if he extends over here at 03, then that would be gote. So I can just protect my cut or keep attacking somehow. I don't expect him to play here though. I think he should definitely continue to settle his weak group. So let's see what he's going to do right now. Okay, so he did attach. Now this is a pretty good move. I'm trying to decide whether I should extend or hane. I think haning is a bit better. Extending feels a little too soft. And I think haning gives in more pressure. Even though he can double hane, I'll just extend. So here I definitely need a block. This move is very big. So since he made this exchange, I decided to Atari. Because this exchange reduces his own liberty, which means after, if he lets me capture the stone, then I can cut or hane. I can. So there's a big weakness here that he left after making this exchange. If he did not play this way, then I would just extend, because otherwise then he could sacrifice the stone. So I actually Atari here because I think that the stone that I'm Ataring is actually heavier, and that's why I Atari'd. So yeah. So this move feels very good because it's a Sente move that really reduces his shape. It reduces quite a lot of territory because he has to descend, and then later on when I push, there could be a lot of aji with, especially with his hane in the future. So that is a very that is follow up. That's really worth it. Huh? He pulls back. Then I just cut this off. So that's actually surprising, because he loses a lot of territory by pulling back. Okay, so now comes the time to make a decision. What I can do is I can just block. Should I block or extend up? It's hard to decide. The reason why I don't really want to extend this way is because when he extends, if he cuts here, then I pretty much have to, yeah, because if I capture the corner, he lives the group in Sente, and I feel kind of unsatisfied with that because it feels like I can get even more than that. But maybe that's a bit greedy. Okay, anyway, I've decided I'm going to block, because after he extends, he needs to protect in the corner. Then I can actually hane and double hane, and I can connect back under. So I don't actually have to protect this cut directly, so that is very tempting. So cutting right now wouldn't really do anything, because so I can just hane back. So if I Atari, he has to extend. Then I could hane back at Q9. And then he still has to protect in the corner. So I would be able to capture one group or the other. So I think I'll just exchange the Atari. No point in saving that anymore. So yeah, he can't Hane down because when I cut, he's gonna have to protect. So I'm completely connected under. Now he's gonna have to protect the. No, he can't protect the cut now because then I just connect my group back and his group just dies. So that's gonna be a huge problem. But he doesn't seem to be protecting his group. I don't know why he made this exchange because now he's gonna take Gote and I can just capture the corner. So I don't need to connect right now because if I connect, he can actually live. So I obviously need to save this because, of course, this group is not even alive. Yeah, so after I capture the corner, this is Sente. And then if I just play another move anywhere here, he's going to have to live also. So he's actually kind of owing half a move inside for his middle group. So the profit here is huge, actually. Originally, he spent some moves in the corner, but after all of this, not only did I keep my Moyo, but I also captured a very, very big corner. Might as well. I almost made a mistake. If I take, he might be able to extend, and then I'll be forced to connect. Then when he cuts, there's gonna be a lot of Aji here. So yeah, I almost made a very impulsive move there, which is pretty much unnecessary. I mean, I don't know what he gains from the cut anyway. Like the Yataris I'll just capture. Doesn't really help the life and death in the corner. The only thing he can do is actually Hane this way. It's actually a very relatively annoying move because if I extend over this way, then he can connect back. I mean, it's no big deal, but I'm surprised he pushed this way because now I can just connect back. So he's helping me connect, kind of. He had to push using the other push at L6 here. So yeah, seems like he's making a chain of mistakes, and at this point it's pretty much over since White lost so much from this fight. Yeah, so I think the big questionable move in this game was this turn at P9. White should definitely jump in the middle. The middle is big. The right side is very small. So it was definitely not worth it for him to turn and get surrounded, because in order to live, he had to sacrifice territory, and well, maybe not as much if he played correctly, but still. Now he's in pretty big trouble. He has to live eventually by going back. But if he plays the bamboo here, he can't escape, but I just Atari through, and now he's going to lose even more on the side there. So, yeah, his shape is relatively bad, and plus I still have this huge thing on the bottom. And I can probably just play Knight's move here or something similar to close it. So I'm going to keep pressuring this group because actually surrounding this group has a lot of benefits. Because first I can continue to push my group towards his territory or influence, and the other thing is, well, this move is also a little surprising. I didn't expect him to play that. Yeah. Also, if my group gets surrounded, there might be a Liberty race in the future. So, all in all, it's going to be a big move. Yeah. So typically, if one move does a lot of things, then it's usually going to be a good move. So now he's going to live, and yeah. So that is alive. I'm not going to argue with that. So now I can probably just invade here, or maybe even play Knight's move. Yeah, the center is still huge. Black has so much potential still on the bottom, which is pretty much going to become territory if I just play like another large Knight's move over here. he needs to invade like ASAP. Um, yeah, he really needs to invade. So, by the way, Virtual Congress is coming up. I hope you guys are excited for that. I will be there. I will be doing a couple lectures, so feel free to tune in if you are going to be there anyway. Yeah. So yeah, it's really unfortunate that we couldn't have live like live. What am I saying? Like Congress in person. But you know, it's having something is better than nothing. And yeah, it feels like, you know, July, August has been such a tradition to do like Go. So it really, you know, it really feels weird now not having Go, like a huge Go event at this time. So yeah, I'm really glad that that something was put together, and really thanks to all the volunteers and all the people who worked on putting this together. So kind of excited. Ooh, we have an invasion here. I don't really need to like fight it or anything. I can just defend. As long as my Knight's Move Stone doesn't get cut off, White doesn't have that much potential on the left side. So like the upper right, the lower right, the lower right is just simply way too big. Yeah, so like by the time where you've like realized that, wow, oh damn, my opponent has such a huge territory, then it's usually going to be too late. You really need to invade earlier than that. So probably the moves out, every move after the here is probably going to be irrelevant for learning purposes. I mean, yeah, of course it does help your reading, but this is not going to happen. I'm sorry to break it to him. Now he's playing fast. I don't know why that is. Maybe he's trying to get me to play fast. So if I make a mistake, he would be able to live. That is actually a legit strategy. So now if he plays the Tiger Snout, I have to be careful. If I Atari, then he's going to make a Ko. So I just connect directly, and there's nothing he can do. There's just, like, this is like metallic. It's like as thick as it can be. I probably like Tanuki now and he can't live, but I don't know if that's like disrespectful or something. Maybe I should just add a move. You know, just add a move. I'll add a move kind of like close to the outside or something. Yeah, there's just absolutely nowhere where I can make eyes. When you're attacking something like this, though, make sure you're careful with your mistakes. So a good way to do that is to pay attention to where our cutting points are. For example, I had a cut here, and if you play this move, he would make it be an eye. So that's why I played this move to kill it. So I don't know why he just left this here, like, and so is he thinking that it's alive? No, it can't be, right? This can't be alive. All right, so I guess I'll just invade some corners now, and we just play relatively simple. And we will have the 12th win on this count in the bag. And so it's actually a 20-second video. Why don't you try this way? Huh. Well, that's not the right move. Usually white Atari is under because black hand is extend. So I don't know why he tried it anyway. He needs to be careful because when I peep here, there's some kind of a weird code. Like when I peep here, yeah, there's when I Hana, he can't block. He's gonna have to play this move. Yeah, so I guess it's fine for now, but there could be a lot of problems. So there's still quite a bit of weaknesses in the upper left. But I guess I don't. I'm just gonna like try to convince him to resign somehow. I'll just like protect the corner. He's trying to like catch my mistake. Like you can tell. Like the only reason why he's playing right now is that he's gonna try to catch one of my mistakes. Because like no matter what he gets on the left side, he has like nothing. I have like at least a 30-point lead. So yeah. See how we can get in this way. I guess there's not too much we can do over there. Well, I guess let's just capture this stone then. I mean, at this point, it's probably not too useful to count, but maybe I'll just open the estimator. Yeah, so it says black is winning by 50 points. So, now actually, this weakness I can get incentive. He's already protected this, so he doesn't really have anything too much over here when he tries to Hana it back. Ugh, like how do I convince him to resign? Maybe I'll just like pull back or something. Like he has no chance of winning here. So okay, what I'm gonna do is I think this is pretty much it for this game. I'm kind of like running out of things to talk about. So I'll be right back after the game finishes. Here we go. We have successfully secured the win. Yeah, I think White's big mistake was turning there, as I mentioned after the shoulder hit, not handling that too well. Let's roll our next opening 8. Love those big numbers sometimes. Yeah, very, very tricky. Double 4-6. Here we go. Despite this theoretically being one of the more popular openings, I only have 5 games here. So definitely looking forward to rolling more of these. Now I did tell you guys that this was one of the openings I studied quite a lot. Not opening, but the 3-5 follow-up moves. So. Probably when this account gets higher up, we might be able to see at least one of those. So I think that should be interesting. So actually, so far I haven't played the Taisha yet. Everyone has been avoiding it somehow. So once we get our first Taisha, then I'll probably be able to. You know what? I think a lot of you guys have been suggesting like doing a trick move video. Maybe I'll get around to doing that too, and that will definitely that will deserve an episode just talking about Taisha, I think. And speaking of which, my opponent just attached out, so we might get it in this game. My opponent's thinking about this for a while, so maybe he wasn't so prepared when he played the attachment. So obviously he can't Hana Atari below, so he needs to Atari on the right side of where I just wedged. Yeah, so after maybe he's pulling out a Joseki book or something. that'd be pretty funny. You know, I've actually talked about this with my friends before. Like when you play online, like you can just have your Joseki books and you can like pull it out. But honestly, I don't know. I don't even know like how helpful that would be though. All right, so the Taisha Joseki. Now, this turn is a mistake. This turn is not supposed to be the correct move. Huh. Well, all of a sudden he's playing like super fast. I'm gonna get this Hane because if he Hanes here, my corner would not be alive. And now he's got two sides to protect. No, he can't even Hane. Why didn't he Hane it? Because he left a wide open cut. He also can attack the other side, which would also be pretty severe. He's just crawling now. Now there's this mouse steals oil Tsuji. I think what I'm gonna do is I'll just net the two stones in the middle. I don't want things to get overly complicated. God, my style is like so boring now. Yeah, I didn't want things to get super overly complicated because if I played on the left side, then he would be able to attack my 5 stones, and I didn't really want that. So, but now I think he's chosen the wrong time to put pressure on my group in the corner, because after I surround it, I just have so many liberties. Yeah, so there's really no hope for black to try and kill this. So it's at least a boxy 5, and plus I can capture Incente. I don't know why he played that move. That gave me a free Atari there. But this, like, I have so many liberties. Like, there's 6 inside, plus like 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's 10 liberties for this group. Black has like 5, yeah. So for this kind of shape, you should always attach and play like a ko in order to reduce it. You should never play this attachment. So like right now, my opponent obviously didn't read the liberties. So you should always remember your shapes. Like boxy 5 is 8 liberties. You minus the 2 stones, so you get 6 liberties. So that's how I got that. So yeah, you should always read your liberties, because if you play a Gote Death, it's just so bad because your opponent just gets free moves, and also you get laughed at. So nobody wants to get laughed at. Yeah, I mean, but like in all seriousness, these are just so useful. Like they come up over and over again, and you'll definitely use it. It's not like one of those things where like it's so textbook where you'll see it like once every like 500 games. Yeah. So anyway, enough of my rambling about that. My opponent did a 3-3 invasion. Now, because I had some influence on this side, I wanted to attack it. So I decided to let black escape. So he can't live locally, which means he had to give me the upper side. And I'm pretty happy with this result. Since I extend it up, it's a very wide area, so it's actually quite efficient for white to take the take the upper side. I was going to say like his right side is like nothing anymore, because, well, if he defends one side, I can always invade, and it's like relatively empty. And also, he's just leaving this group here. I feel like doing something, but these like I wanted to Hane, but like when I'm like really ahead, I never like to do anything too complicated. One, it's like a lot of risk, and also like I'm a pretty lazy player sometimes, and I don't like to think about like extra things. If I know something will work, then I usually just pick that variation. So yeah. Well, so I mean, this game is pretty much done because this is a pretty big death, and that was a very awkward way of protecting the cut there. Okay, so he resigns here. Okay, so like I'm really glad that I'm actually getting these Taisha variations, because like in the end, this type of variation is very interesting to talk about. And I bet you like a lot of 5-6 dams will make mistakes in this type of variation. Even like 7 dams might not know like fully. I mean, even myself, I don't even know every variation with a Taisha. So going to be very interesting. It might be worth it to have like a discussion or like a big lecture on it. So yeah, stay tuned for that. And leave a comment if you want to see that. Let's see what the next game is. And we just rolled a 6 again. That is so good. All right, let's continue on this account. All right, here we go. The Taisha is always very exciting because for me, it just brings so much nostalgia. Like I used to play it so much, and you know, when as a kid, like when you know a trick move relatively well, you're always like anticipating your opponent's next move. You know, like will they make that mistake? You know, just play there, play there, play there. But then, they don't make the mistake, and they know actually what they're doing. And then I'm like, oh man, darn it, they know more. They know more about this than I do. And then you know, something always happens with trick moves. Okay, so my opponent does make a mistake here. You should never block here because eventually black has to capture. And I think I talked about this in an earlier video. Basically, black is spamming another move on the second line, which is a terrible move. Is this real? Wow, this is the first time I've ever seen. Is this an approach? What? How? Okay, well, okay, he just he just played a very interesting approach. That is definitely a first. I've never seen anyone approach the 3-5 using that second line move. So, well, what's this? Who is this result good for? I have no clue, honestly. This is like completely new for me. Yeah. Well, he didn't see the ladder breaker, I guess. Maybe he played this move too quickly. Well, that's a very big benefit by white on the upper left. And I didn't... Wow, is he going to crawl here? I really don't think that's good for him. Okay, so he crawls and jumps out. I could probably just like jump here because he can't let me block. So he's in pretty big trouble. Oh man. Okay. Well, this game is over by now. Like he lived, but yeah. Well, this is like the textbook reason of why you don't want to crawl in the second line because you get very little territory, and yeah, it's just not worth it. And I don't even know if I need to answer here because his group is already alive, and I don't really see in the short future that I will be able to attack the black group over here. So I think I'm just going to ignore it. If he continues here, I can keep ignoring it. So because in the end, it's only 6 points in the opening, so it's relatively small at this stage of the game anyway. I decided to take this move back because it's actually a relatively big move for eye space. Like if black goes in here, my group is not completely alive, and same thing for his. So later when I do like 2 space, he's gonna have to run away. And well, I think I'm just gonna protect my cut. He did have a push and cut, which I was going to sacrifice again actually if he pushed and cut. But I guess in this case, he didn't do it. So, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's just so bad for him on the left side. Like, right now, I can pretty much play whatever I want. Okay, not literally whatever I want, but pretty close to it. Yeah. So you can see, like, after the left side, all the territory that black has is like the 2 space extension on the right. I mean, he has about 10 points total on the left, but that's pretty much it. yeah, so that's pretty much all he has. Well, white obviously has top left, top right, and then definitely more territory than black on the bottom as well. So yeah, in any game if white is ahead, then to like a very high level player, usually like it's very hard to lose. So yeah, at this point it's oh man, I think he's gonna get captured if he if he keeps playing like this. Yeah, I think if I descend now, it's gonna be hard for him to escape. I mean, he was playing where I was like super strong. So he should have treated this stone more lightly. I don't think he should have connected. But I guess now it's too late to say that. I mean, what is he doing? He's trying to capture me or something. Oh, nice. That is a nice move, actually. That's a very good move. But he is still surrounded. So it was a good move because I couldn't push. If I push, he can Atari. Then I would be in trouble. But right now, he has still one eye. Like, and he finished all the variations on the outside. So, yep, that's another group that we captured. I really didn't like do anything, right? I just played very, very reasonable moves. Very reasonable. Oh man, he's not going to continue playing there. So, well, yeah, I don't know what to do now. I guess blocking here is pretty big too. Why is he playing on the second line? Like, his teacher must have taught him not to play on the second line. Should always listen to your teacher. Okay, so well, now I think we have officially reached that point. It's that point again where I don't know what to talk about, and we're kind of just rambling. You know what? Maybe we should get like a rambling. Maybe like this is like my worst fear for streaming. So some of you guys have been asking me why I haven't been streaming on Twitch. And I guess the short answer is that it's really hard to find the time. And I was gonna say the second thing was I'm like if I was playing a game or for example if I'm streaming this and I get to a point where my opponent just starts playing and the game is over and I just really don't know what to talk about. Like it would be so painful for you guys to watch me just like sitting here, no cuts, just like what is he gonna talk about? Ryan, stop talking. Yeah. So, but I like that is only part of it though. Like my main, the main reason is it's kind of hard to find, some enough time to do like both YouTube and Twitch. So before committing, I want to make sure one that I'm used to the software and I'm good at it, and then the next thing is like I need to mentally prepare myself to be committed to streaming regularly. So, and at that point, yeah, our opponent just resigned, and I think I lagged a little bit here. So, yeah, the big thing must be the left side. I think, well, so since this is a super common mistake, I really wanted to just point this out. Like the Joseki goes like this: you Atari. So you Atari, white jumps, you capture, and white goes back. Black would definitely not play a move here right now. It's just way too slow in the opening. So that's why blocking is a mistake. Now, Black's just not afraid of white going out right now because after the Atari under, white can't really play the knight's move because when black hanes, there's potential ko. Not to mention black can hane and double hane over on this side. So all in all, it's not a good result. So if white tries to capture this, I think you'll probably see this in Joseki books, like Black and Hane and Block. And that's a Sentei on the right side, but it's hard for white to fix it. So like, for example, if white captures, which is usually the way, but black can start the ko, and then black can use, like, attaching them as a ko-threat. So white would be in huge trouble, because white wouldn't have any ko-threats. And if white connects on the inside, then I guess black can also just start the ko. Actually, black can start the ko by extending. That's slightly better, and then untarring it on top. Actually, no, that doesn't work, because black... So black needs to start the ko directly. And then you can probably tell, like, this is, like, probably... this wouldn't really happen in the game too much, I guess. This might be... It's a pretty funny result, actually. It's hard to say who's better. My first instinct is black, because black is Sentei. But yeah, I guess it's hard to say. So typically, black is not really afraid of this. Black doesn't even have to start the ko now. Black can just tanuki after doing the hane there. So, but yeah, I guess this is like, and not so. The main thing about this is that originally white has a pretty comfortable corner. I think most people like this for white anyway. Because yeah, the corner is just so big, and then later on there's this jump. But yeah, so here black is not really afraid of white turning, so something worth to it's definitely worth it to remember that. Before we end the video, let's roll our next game for the next episode. And I just rolled a 6, right? Okay, let's click it again so we make sure that this is working. What? I just rolled a 6 again. Oh no, okay. I just rolled 2 6s in a row. Because the second 6, I wanted to test whether the generator was working. So, should I play 2 3 5 points, or should I just play 1? Anyway, I'll see you in the next episode.